Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. You hear it a lot on radio, but I play it a lot. I can play now that I've learned to master this instrument.
Okay.
It's quite easy to master, and it's a very nice thing for young people to learn to become musical, you know.
Yeah, I think we grew up playing this.
But they must easy to learn. You know.
Yeah.
I always say to people, how do you know how to whistle? When you whistle a song,
Yeah.
how do you make your lips exactly correct?
You teach yourself.
It comes naturally, but the same with the instrument.
Yes.
Must just practice the scale. You do that 10,000 times, and you will know where the notes are.
You
The
play
same
all
as
the
your
notes.
lips. So I can play. I never played Happy Birthday to You. But sometimes people ask me, they have a birthday and then they want to listen, celebrate with their friends or so, you know.
Yeah. So, Uncle, please introduce yourself. What is your name?
My name's Gavin.
Gavin. Gavin.
From Gabriel.
Gabriel.
I'm Gabriel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But people call me Gavin. I prefer that. It's too long, the name Gabriel.
Yes.
And it's got biblical connections as well.
Yeah.
They used to call me at school Angel.
Angel.
Because of the Gabriel.
Yeah, Angel Gabriel.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are born here?
I was born in South Africa.
Okay.
I grew up quite unhappy childhood. I didn't find any pleasure in life. Anything that. Then I went to England somehow. After I finished my school, I'd grown up after the war, the Second World War, and I used to read a lot of English comics, like Lion and Hotspur. So I was attracted to England.
Yeah.
I went to London and I lived there for 20 years. I play guitar. I'm actually a guitarist. It's my main instrument.
You can also play guitar.
That's my main instrument, but my guitar is broken at the moment, and I'm trying to repair it. It's a very nice guitar, and then I will probably make a bit better money as well, because I support myself playing music now.
Yeah.
I went to England, and at that time it was very much the love culture. It was the hippie era. You know, hippie.
I know the hippie, yes.
Yeah, hippie era. So we believed in free love and a lot of drugs, mind-altering substances.
Yeah.
In fact, the music scene was like that. A lot of the songs were about mind-changing substances, you know. And I stayed in England, and I ended up studying. I went, before I came back to South Africa, I went on a course, computer course. I used to like to be in computers.
Computer course?
Yeah.
When was that, if you still remember?
Sorry?
Like when was that when you went to the computer?
1983.
1983.
It was a one-year course, and the government sponsored you. You get an income every week.
Okay.
And then you must study, but you must come every day to college.
Yeah.
So I always was interested in electronics, how things work. And when I first got my first color TV, I opened it at the back, and I was I was truly amazed at the way they can pick up pictures and sound, you know. So I learned electronics and I studied it.
Yeah.
And then I worked in factories. But because my family were, I came back, and it was the end of apartheid as well. Because when I went over, I didn't want to sit on the back of, I didn't want to be a white that stop other brothers, like people of different color.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be part of that system. So I remember when I was sitting in the aeroplane and it took off. It's the first time I ever did fly.
Yeah.
It was almost like the chains come off.
Yeah.
Really, I was so relieved. But I had a difficult time to get into England because I didn't have much money. Luckily, I had an invite, so I managed to get a visa and so on.
So was it easy to get a visa at the time? Or
At the time, yeah, I don't know. I was determined to stay there. I didn't want to come back there. You see? I didn't want to come back to South Africa. But when I see it's going to come right, people are going to...
were you extending your visa there, or you just decided to overstay?
I did overstay, and yeah, but because I can speak English well,
Yeah.
and as a child I mostly spoke English, but also Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Because my father's side is Afrikaans, my mother's side is from Cape Town.
Yeah.
So everything was very much polarized, you know.
Yes.
And I had a pretty unhappy childhood, I think. Our father was alcoholic, and he never really stayed with us because he had asthma. He couldn't stay in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where the families fight each other, you know.
Yeah.
My grandmother wanted my mother here in Cape Town. She was the youngest. So my father was absent. I never had a father really. All I heard about him that he was a rubbish, and it was a very negative impression for my father.
Yeah.
But I had spent once 3 weeks up in the Karoo, which is like a desert in South Africa.
Yeah.
I spent 3 weeks when I was about 8. And I got to know him a little bit, and he was a nice person.
Yeah.
I don't know why they thought he was so bad. And then my sister got leukemia, and I think it's because of the atom bomb tests. In the 1950s, the Americans detonated about almost 200 nuclear devices to test
Yeah.
the first atom bomb, and then the hydrogen bomb, which is a thermonuclear.
Yeah.
And because the air particles in the southern hemisphere stay south, a lot of people got leukemia that time from those bombs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that air never goes to the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, it's polluted.
It stays more or less, most of it, 99% of it stays in. Anyway, my sister got very sick and she got leukemia. And my father came down for the burial, that I remember. And he said, there's no God, how can God kill a child? And stuff like that. And my mother became very religious.
Yeah.
Super religious. We had to go to church almost 3 times a week.
Yeah.
We were forced to go to church. Anyway, that's the past.
What was your first job?
My first job?
Yeah.
I did matric. You know, I failed my mathematics in standard. We have a standard 8.
Okay.
Then we have a matriculation 2 more years. It's almost like grade 12. I think it's comparable to grade 12.
Grade 12, yeah.
And I went to do a job as an apprentice for refrigeration technician.
Yeah.
And a guy there told me, he says, Junior, why don't you go back to school, finish your matric? So I said to him, but I failed my mathematics. And if you don't get maths, because I did maths and physics and chemistry, if you don't master maths, you'll never get matric. But I was very lucky when went back to school. There was a teacher.
Mm.
He looked at my work.
Yeah.
He said, "No, your problem is you don't understand algebra.
Yeah.
You know, when they teach you algebra, they come A plus B is equals C."
Yeah, algebra is a bit.
And then
but
they don't explain why.
Algebra is one of the easiest because there's a
In a way,
geometry, there's a
once you know it,
trigonometry. It's a
once
bit
you know it, it's
complicated.
easy. But when you come from my condition, where I was very nervous,
Yeah,
person.
analytic. Yeah, it's a.
I was always biting my nails and worrying.
Mm.
But he looked at my work and he said, he gave me some practice, easy stuff.
Yeah.
And I came top in mathematics in matric.
Mhm.
I mastered it just in that couple of months from doing very basically learning the basics. I think the whole thing about any knowledge. If you want to speak a language, you must learn the alphabet.
You have to learn alphabet, and you have to practice
And
more.
every subject has got an alphabet, like electronics has got an alphabet,
Yes.
computer logic, the basis is your truth tables or your digital.
Yeah.
Everything turned to digital,
Yes. The binary language.
binary language.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, you can even fix phones,
Yes.
anything, as long as you have a meter and the oscilloscope. You asked me about my first job. I worked in a bank.
You work in a bank.
Yeah, just carrying the post around because I had matric.
Yeah.
And those days it was quite easy for people of light color to get jobs. I think so. But I didn't enjoy working in that. And I soon started an interest in electronics and tried to repair stuff. Because when I was a pickanin, which in, you know, pickanin means child in Zulu. Pickanin. I also grew up with a Zulu woman looking after me.
Yeah.
Those days, my mom had to work, so she took care of the kids. I have 4 sisters, and when I got to England, I just wanted to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because one day I was walking in the foreshore in Cape Town. We have a section of land that was filled in.
Yes.
It used to be the sea there. It's quite amazing that they could fill in all that land. And they extended the shores of Cape Town right down to the docks. So one day I went to walk to go to the docks to go see fishing and stuff like that. But there were 2 bridges.
Yeah.
The one bridge said whites only. And the other bridge said people of dark color only. And I thought, huh?
One bridge, white only. Another bridge,
Yeah,
black.
they're still there, the bridges, but
Yeah.
now obviously, I thought, you see, when you grow up in a country like this, they try to brainwash you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a natural thing to be culture, you know, what they call culture.
Yeah.
I said, no, this is wrong. And I felt I don't want to be here to sit on top of other people.
Yes.
I want to remove myself. I protest, like a protest.
You were part of the protest.
I didn't want to be part of the system, yeah.
Actually, that was the main reason why
I think
you
that
decided to leave.
Yeah, I think that's the deep reason.
Yeah.
I wanted to be free of this, you know, you always feel threatened there's going to be like in Rwanda, there was a revolution there.
Yes.
I think it's Rwanda. The Hutsis and the Tutsis.
Yeah, that was Rwanda back in 1994.
84, no?
1994. Yeah.
Yeah, we heard it. I was still in England then. And, yeah, you know, one always hopes things will go well. So, what can I say? Came back to South Africa because my mother was still here.
Yes.
Father had passed away. And I was disconnected for like 20 years. I didn't hardly speak to my family.
So while in England,
I wanted to show them I could make something of my life, you know.
while in England,
Well, when I went to
Were you in contact with your family, your
now
dad,
and
your
then I
mom?
used to write a letter.
Mm.
And it's funny, my mother never wrote. My sister wrote it. My one sister
Yeah.
did write for her. I was quite close to her, my younger sister.
Yeah.
And you know what happened when I was in London? One day I was walking there in Covent Garden, which is like the place where you go. There's a big opera house there.
Mhm.
And I went to see a place called the Dance Centre.
Okay.
See, I was a gymnast when I was a kid. I was a very good gymnast.
Okay. Wow.
And I saw the dance class,
Yes.
which I never seen before.
Mhm.
I thought, wow, this is fantastic. Look here, these guys dancing here.
Yeah.
In South Africa, then they would call you a muffy or something like that. And I started going to class. And I started to do 3 classes a day. I supported myself by cleaning jobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work you can get in England. There's always a way of making money. And after about 4 years, I did an audition and I got a job on the TV.
On the TV.
Top of the Pops, yeah. It was a program, music program.
Mhm.
Now, because I played guitar on it,
Yeah.
I thought I might make a band one day.
Yes.
I met a nice girl. She was also a dancer.
Then England.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we used to do street performances, you know. She would dance, I play music.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she, you know, women are complicated for me.
Mhm.
And it's one of the few women that I've loved, you
Yeah.
know, that I liked her. But she also, we were on different wavelengths. She wasn't very technical in that. She was more,
Yeah.
also, she came from also quite a difficult family.
Yeah.
She was the 7th sister of 7 sisters.
Oh. She was from England.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we ended up being married to keep in the country because they wanted to deport me back here.
Oh, they wanted to deport you.
Well,
Then-
if I would have had to battle to stay there, I would
Because
have,
you have overstayed. Then.
yeah, the last visa, I was coming to the end of my visa and I had to make, and she said, why don't we get married?
Yes.
Because we were together all the time for years, for about 4 years, 3 years.
Yes.
And we both studied dancing.
Yeah.
But I got this job on TV,
Mhm.
and it was one of the top jobs in England for a dancer.
Yeah.
I'm on YouTube. You can check me on YouTube. My
Oh.
early dancing, yeah. And because she didn't get the job, it split us. It's funny. You know, for every British girl,
Yeah.
it's a dream to be on top of the pops.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it somehow came between us because I used to go to rehearsals and then we shoot go to the BBC centre to shoot
Yes.
the program. And I lost the job really because of her, funny enough. I think so.
You
No,
lost
no.
The, you lost the job because of her.
Indirectly, but actually, you see what happened was we had a black guy in our group, 3 boys
Yes.
and 5 girls.
Mm.
We got 4 of us. And the guy that runs the top of the pots,
Yeah.
he told the choreographer, the person that runs our
Yeah.
group,
Yeah. The group. Yeah.
Ruby Flipper, the name was Ruby Flipper. So people can see me on YouTube, Ruby Flipper. You just type, when you search, Ruby Flipper.
I'll go search.
And you can see the video that I danced on.
Wow.
I didn't even know that they made videos of it.
And in
My
which
sister
year?
fa- my
In which
sister-
year was that? If you
That
can
was
remember.
about 19, it was actually 1976.
1976.
I'm old, man. I'm 76, 75 now.
76 years old.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
I wanted to, because when you go do that job, you've got a lot of connections with all the bands in the world, like the Beatles,
yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel,
Hmm.
Hot Chocolates. You meet many people there. And But the guy that runs the group, he said that the British boys at that time don't like black guys to dance with white girls.
Yeah.
So he told the choreographer, I must get rid of the boys
Yes.
and have a girl group,
Oh.
sexy girls, you know. But he himself was sick in the head. He was a pervert, I think.
Yeah.
His name was Bill Cotton,
Okay.
and he caused our group to break up. That's it, you know. And just because the one boy was a Jamaican boy, very nice guy.
The black guy
The
from
black
Jamaica.
guy, Floyd. And because of that, we lost our jobs because of racism.
Yeah.
It was a nice group. We did
So
very
in
nice.
England also you got discriminated.
Yeah. Not me, but Floyd, indirectly.
Yeah, Floyd.
Yeah.
The guy from Jamaica.
He wanted only a girl group. He said that British people don't like him. I was shocked at that because I thought England was liberated, you know, and it's free. But
Yeah.
that type of nonsense, you get it in all countries, unfortunately.
True.
You know.
So
I myself love everybody. I was brought up in a not Christian, but in a religious way.
yeah.
And we used to have multiracial meetings. Our churches were multiracial. So
Yeah.
I grew up in Woodstock, one of the few places in South Africa that was never separated because of apartheid and all that.
Apartheid, yeah.
So I don't have an issue with that. To me, my best friend was a Jamaican. I always get on with people of color. I don't know why. Because I like moving,
Yes.
dancing, playing music, drumming. But also drugs. Drugs was a big thing. We used to smoke a lot of cannabis those days.
That time. So
I always knew it's not a good thing. I tried not to abuse.
yeah.
I always say to people, use, but don't abuse. It's like anything like alcohol, you know.
Yeah. Don't overdose.
I've seen what alcoholism is all about, and alcohol is a very dangerous substance.
Yeah.
Causes a lot of unhappiness, accidents.
Yes.
You know that mostly road accidents because of alcohol.
It's a lot.
A lot of them. And it destroyed my family. Our family was totally destroyed from alcohol.
Yeah.
So we used to use different chemicals those days. It was a culture.
So on your arrival back to South Africa, like from England, have you got married?
No, I never got married. I just did. I came back and it was a difficult time for me actually. But
Did you come with some money or you didn't have?
I had some money.
Yeah.
I worked, my last year in England, I worked in a factory.
Yeah.
So I got
Some savings.
I managed to buy my own airfare.
Yes.
Came back with a couple of £1,000. Those days, pound wasn't so strong like now.
Yeah.
I think you used to get about 10 rand to a pound. Now you get 20 rand to a pound because the rand got weak. You see.
Even more. I think it's something like 23 or 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but that, see, when I grew up, I never had guidance about money, how to control money. To me, when I get money, I spend it.
Yes.
I'm not worrying about the consequences. I'm learning it the hard way now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning to look after money. But it's very important to learn that when you're young,
Yeah.
how money works. And it's a mystery. And they teach you everything in school, but how to handle money and how to be successful that way, you know.
Yeah.
And nowadays, they used to beat us. They beat us.
Yeah.
Fucking sore, my brother.
Weeping. So, if I have this question, if you could wake up tomorrow and find yourself in your 30s,
30.
yeah, what will be your priority?
Music, making a band. Because I built a synthesizer to put my guitar through sound. And it was always my pursuit because obviously if you're successful in the musical side,
You get
you
rich.
can have economic advantages, you know.
Yeah.
That seemed to me the best fitted to my type of personality.
Yes.
At that stage, I used to mainly be into that type of thing, music, to spread nice energy, you know.
Yeah.
It is still my purpose in life, I don't know.
What is your biggest regret? What is your biggest regret?
Je regrette rien. It's a French word, I don't regret it.
I know French.
Ah oui?
You regret
Je
nothing.
parlais un petit peu.
Tu parles un peu.
Un petit peu.
Yeah. It's like
What's
you
the point
regret
of
nothing.
regretting?
Hmm?
There's no point in regretting anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't sit. You know, we were very into a culture of letting go. I actually was very interested in Tibetan Buddhism.
You learn the culture of letting go.
Yeah, let go of negative ideas. It's a Tibetan thing from Buddhism.
Yeah.
Is to learn the 7 disciplines of taking the middle road, basically. I think all religions preach that, you know.
Yeah.
Take the middle road. Don't turn right and left.
Yeah.
Stay in the middle road.
Stay there. Stay on your
And
on your straight way. Yeah.
What can I regret?
Yeah.
I regret that I didn't study harder at school. I didn't have the opportunity. Our house was always unstable.
Yeah.
Only luckily in the last year of matric, I had the time to study and to look at my weaknesses in chemistry and stuff that I had to complete, you know. And I don't have regrets because, like I say, I willfully let go. It's from the Buddhism.
Yeah.
I was obviously quite interested in. You never had that experience in South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, even to doubt the Bible was considered a blasphemy. You go to prison for that.
Yeah.
And letting go, yeah, what can I regret? It's God's will.
It's God's will, yeah, true. So, what is the last question? What is the advice would you give to the young generation?
I would suggest to them that the purpose of going to school or university is actually to learn to research yourself.
Yeah.
If you see something you like, you must. Now it's wonderful now with the internet. You can research any subject on the internet.
Yes.
But I'm surprised how many people don't know how to use their phones. It's a very powerful device.
Yes.
Especially YouTube and Wikipedia.
Yeah.
My advice is to learn the basics, and the basics are the easiest. It's like the alphabet. Once you know your alphabet, you can speak that language.
Yes.
So if you want to make any subject, you must learn the basics.
Yes.
And study them properly. And once you understand that, the rest comes naturally. Your creativity will come up. Now, also, the thing that I preach is creativity.
Yeah.
Our human beings, we have the ability by stilling the mind. You see, people have got habitual thoughts all the time. When you talk about habits, you can have an alcoholic habit, a drug habit. You can have a personality habit, the way you think. And I came across a guy called Gabriel. He was at that time, he had a big influence on young people because he teaches things like to store the mind, which is like praying, really.
Yeah.
And by the example is, if you have a bottle that is full of mud, mixed, like your mind can become like that. If you put the bottle down, and then be quiet, it'll settle.
Yes.
The same thing with the mind. And then once the mind is quietened down, and the Gurdjieff said it's very difficult actually to do it. Because your worries and your things like that come all the time to try to. It's habitual thought because you've never been trained from small
Yeah.
how to become creative. And once you become creative, you open up your talents that God gave us.
Yeah.
So my advice is to they're so lucky now with the phones, but a lot of people don't use the power of them. They must. I notice they just use chats. People just WhatsApp and talk to each other. It's more of a social thing.
Yeah.
But my advice is to study the basics and to find out how you can release your creativity. Because that's God given you.
Yes.
That is part of our nature.
That's a great advice.
And not to do extreme things, not to choose anything extreme.
Extreme like drugs.
Anything like politics or your habits, Some people, I know
Like
some.
anything you do, don't try to go to the extreme of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you see, it depends on your early personality. So very important. Although I was very much exposed to religion,
Yeah.
and a certain type of religion, but luckily in a way that was liberating because they used to clap hands and people speaking tongues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's very much. I tried to study religions to find out what is true religion.
Yeah.
What is the best religion? Yeah, I would tell them to. You see, I have a lot of Muslim friends, and people get habitually fixed in their minds by programming. In the same way as we program a computer.
Yeah.
We like computers now because look, the human beings invented these computers. And I'll tell you what, this AI is something incredible.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. Morning. How are you? Now, I met a girl the other day.
Yes.
She's so nice. She said, Gavin, keep playing because the world there's war going on and stuff. And if you can make nice vibrations, follow that route. Try to make the world better for yourself and for other people.
Yeah.
Is one of the main drives.
Yeah.
Don't isolate yourself.
Yeah.
It's so very easy to isolate. Even with the new phones, people isolate. They sit at home and they talk to people in Japan and everywhere in the world. And that is actually a false type of thing.
Yeah.
Even watching television, it's a false experience.
Yes.
It's not reality, it's a virtual reality.
It's a virtual, yeah. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Yeah.
And, give us one last song, please, before we call it a day.
Yeah. I feel a bit sad today, so I don't want to play sad music. Yeah, learn an instrument as well.
Yeah.
It's so good to play music. A lot of people.
It chills the mind.
It's an essential part of our dynamics, of the human dynamic,
Yeah.
There's nobody in Woodstock that plays music.
Yeah.
Overseas in Europe and London, I've never been to America. I didn't ever want to go to America. America's not my flavor. Now that girl asked me one song to play, I'll play it quickly.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Thank you very,
Yeah.
very much. You must have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you.